This could be the most exciting fight of the night. The obvious advantage for Carl Thompson is that he's a natural cruiserweight and should enter the ring a full 12 pounds heavier than Eubank. If this is the case, Eubank will have to maximise his speed, both of hand and foot. Power is always a factor, and whilst Thompson has a respectable punch and Eubank has never been stopped, the fact that a super middleweight knocked him down in his last fight does beg the question of whether his chin will last. The fight should go long, so controlling the ring centre is essential. Thompson has a good jab, which he combines with an effective right cross, forcing his opponent back. But Eubank too likes to have the middle to control the pace of the fight. Watch here his jab, followed by the right, which gives him control of the ring centre, where he can land commanding punches. Eubank loves the show, and 22,000 fans on a big night will lift him. How will Thompson be affected? But Eubank has fought over 373 rounds. Will the wear and tear of all those wars finally catch up with him? For me, Thompson is simply too big and too strong.
Chris Eubank's been around almost as long as Barry McGuigan, hasn't he?
Certainly had a lot of fights.
Here he is getting ready to go. A long, long career it's been. This is his 51st professional fight, but his very first at cruiserweight. Love him or loathe him, the facts speak. A world champion at middleweight and super middleweight. Only Duke McKenzie of British fighters in this century has won 3 world titles in separate weight divisions. This will be his 23rd world title fight in all. You were very sceptical last night, Barry, about how he would prepare for a cruiserweight fight. Explain why.
Well, I wasn't sceptical about that. What he said was, for the first time in my life, I've been able to eat something. Well, you know, part of the training routine, and the guys will agree about getting down to weight, is the deprivation and being, you know, avoiding sweetie foods and slimming down. And the fact that that puts you through, like, makes you mean, makes you tight, makes you observant and sharp. It's all about the preparation. He hasn't had to do that.
Even though he suffered so badly to make the weight,
well, you see,
by legend.
There's lots of reports about suffering weight. That can either be attributed to lack of commitment in the gymnasium or just eating too much, or both. And you know, he's always said he's shied away from training. He hasn't liked to train hard. So, you know, there are a number of reasons for it. I happen to think it was because he never liked the heavy-duty training. And on this occasion, he hasn't had to do that. I know he's put himself away and he's done it right. But I just think he's too small for this guy, and he's had too many wars, and this guy will grind him down. Might be successful early on, but I think he'll grind him down and beat him.
You can testify to just what a powerful man Thompson is, Nicky.
Yes, he was. I boxed in my first defeat, actually, and I gave him almost a stone in weight, and he is, as you can see, absolutely massive. When I boxed him, the first time I saw him was when he was waiting for me in the ring. I hadn't even seen him at the weigh-in, and he frightened the life out of me. He is massive and a very strong man. Eubank, also a great chin, so he may be able to take that power, we don't know.
Jim, a little more from you on the point you raised at the top of the show tonight about Carl Thompson's inexperience on an occasion like this. And we understand that Thompson last night after the weigh-in was heard to say that he was very unhappy with the amount of coverage that Eubank was getting compared to Thompson, who was and is the champion.
Yeah, well, Eubank has the perfect temperament. He's done it all before, he's done it so often. You also have to remember, Eubank is the best opponent that Thompson has faced. He's never faced anyone quite like this guy. And it's the fast guys who give Eubank the problems, not the strong guys, not the powerful guys. I mean, I think Eubank will be able to cope with Thompson's power and his strength, but Thompson must really get a grip of this fight. His tactics are important. We know exactly what Chris will do within reason, but Thompson has to get a grip of the fight.
Thank you. Lying in wait for the winner tonight, perhaps the former European champion, Johnny Nelson. Johnny is at ringside for us tonight. Johnny, all of you cruiserweights need Chris Eubank badly, don't you?
You're right, spot on there. I think, you know, at the end of the day, everybody's praying that Chris does the job. And realistically, I think he's got too many pluses in his favour. I've got to agree with Jim there. And I think Chris has mixed in better class. I think he knows the game well. He's got excellent experience. And the only two pluses in Carl's favour are strength and the weight advantage, and that's it.
How different will Thompson find it, do you think? It's something you've been through, and if I may say, we all know it wasn't a natural progression for you, Johnny, to go and fight on a really big occasion.
Yeah, I think this is... See, Carl wears his heart on his sleeve, and last night he was heard to be not very happy about the way they were talking about Chris getting all the hype and all the publicity. Now, little things like that are going to affect him before a big fight like this. he wants to seriously focus himself on the job in hand, which is fighting Chris, not little petty things like that.
All right, Johnny, and just one final thought. Of course, you've got to keep fighting because there's a new addition to the family.
Oh, yeah, of course. Another little baby girl. I can't do boys now for some reason. I'm giving up.
Well, you're doing all right on the girls, aren't you? Well done. Thanks very much to Johnny Nelson. Do stay with us. Chris Eubank about to make his way out into the 9X arena. Carl Thompson is on home territory here, but Thompson knows he still has it all to prove. It's next. Chris Eubank prepared in isolation on Bodmin Moor in Cornwall, with a few sheep and a couple of sparring partners for company. This is more like his natural habitat, don't you think? The 9X arena awaits one of the all-time great showmen in British boxing. But as well as the showmanship, Eubank time and again has proved himself a quality performer in the ring when it counts. This would be his greatest triumph. Carl Thompson's WBO cruiserweight title is on the line. Here's Michael Buck.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, making his entrance to the ring for the second of our 3 world title bouts tonight, he is the challenger. He is known as simply the best, Chris Eubank.
Well, they're playing his tune again. Is this Chris Eubank's last stand? Or can the old showman pull off his most spectacular feat yet by moving up 2 divisions, 22 pounds in weight, and becoming a world champion all over again?
And now, coming to the ring, the defending champion from Manchester, Carl the Cat Thompson.
Quite interesting, the lyrics of the song, I've got the power.
Well, that should be the key. He is the naturally bigger man, he's stronger, he's proven himself at European level, he's won the world title, he's strong, he's sound. I just worry, my one worry about it is the occasion. He's the very opposite to Chris Eubank, very quiet, you know, almost shy, and I think that's the thing. If Eubank can get into his head, if Eubank can, the occasion can upset him.
This is all alien to Carl Thompson. He's never been given this kind of treatment before. You're saying he might suffer stage fright, are you?
Well, I think he will win the fight. He'll be too big and strong, but I think that could happen. That could be a worry that it just gets to him a bit.
You could say about Thompson, if you were being very unkind, that his world title win in Germany has catapulted him into obscurity. But his credentials are pretty good. He'd have beaten Ralph Rocchigiani, the German, the first time they met, but for a dislocated shoulder in the closing minutes of the fight. He made sure of it last time. Doesn't look like stage fright to me.
I was just going to say, it looks as if he's enjoying it. Well, I think if he can be like that, if he can be confident, he is comfortable in there, it's an even tougher night for Chris Eubank.
That nickname, by the way, the Cat, is not because he's a good goalkeeper or has 9 lives. It's because his name is Carl Adrian Thompson. Those are the initials. He's actually older than Eubank at 33.
Yes, I know, he is older, but he hasn't had the fights. Eubank's had a lot of fights and very tough ones. So Thompson, although he's older, he's much fresher.
Be interesting to see who the crowd root for here, because Thompson's the Manchester fighter, but he's a bit of an unknown, and Eubank is the big celeb, isn't he? This is the tale of the tape. Let's take a look at this. Thompson, 2 years older, as we've said, at 33. Eubank's still only 31. He may have time still. Thompson's taller, and he's bigger too. Eubank officially weighing in at 13 stone 4.5, half a stone heavier than ever before in his life. Reach advantage for Thompson. Not that big, though. Eubank in his 51st fight tonight. Look at that, 373 rounds for Eubank. Too many miles on the clock? Maybe. Thompson can hit 5.1 rounds per fight average. And the bookmakers say this. Thompson 2-1 on, the natural cruiserweight. Eubank 6-4 against. Draw 33-1.
Ladies and gentlemen, this evening of World Championship Boxing continues, courtesy of Mr. Frank Warren for Sports Network and sponsored by Adidas and the McCarthy Corporation. Sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control, Supervisor John Morris. Steward in charge of this bout, Judge Alan Simpson. Timekeeper at the bell, Barry Pinder. And the World Boxing Organization WBO Supervisor at ringside, Richard DeCure. The 3 judges scoring this bout on a 10-point must system will be Luis Pabon of Puerto Rico, Dave Paris of England, and John Stewart from the United States. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action from England, Mr. Roy Francis. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Manchester, England, 12 rounds of boxing for the WBO Cruiserweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing gold with red letters, weighing 13 stone, 4 1/2 pounds. His professional record, 45 victories, 23 by knockout with 3 defeats and 2 draws. and he has captured 2 world titles. Ladies and gentlemen, from Brighton, England, here is the challenger for 2-time world champion, simply the best, Chris Eubank. And across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing green with gold and weighing in at 13 stone, 7 pounds. His professional record stands at 22 victories, including 16 by knockout, with 4 losses tonight. He makes the first defense of his title. Ladies and gentlemen, for the Phoenix Boxing Camp in Manchester, England, presenting the WBO Cruiserweight Champion of the World, the Cat Thompson.
And a plum appointment as referee for this for Roy Francis.
If one of you goes to the canvas, I'll send the other one to the neutral corner, and you don't come out until I tell you. Now you look at me when I'm talking. Yeah, you look at me. Okay? When I say break, stand back. That's exactly what I mean. Shake hands. Have a good one.
Well, does Thompson really prove himself here? Eubank says he's technically spot on for this. He was excellent really in defeat last time against Joe Calzaghe, but of course that was at super middleweight. This is a division 22 pounds higher. What strategy will Eubank use? He's been keeping it a secret. Most feel his tactics will be to not get involved. And look at these body punches from Eubank, and what effect, we wonder, will the heavy-hitting cruiserweight Thompson have when he lands? Can Eubank, who's always been very, very strong, never been stopped, will he be able to take a cruiserweight's punches? So many subplots here, Glenn.
Yes, there really is. Eubank, he looks as if he wants to have a fight early on. You would expect speed to be the key for him, to be in and out, use the angles and just try and outwork Thompson.
Real speed from Eubank, that's one thing he does have here, and of course, a wealth of top-level experience. Thompson has been saying in the build-up he'll be in Eubank's face all night, pressure him, make his natural extra weight tell. Eubank has started sharply here. Eubank is working to a carefully defined plan that has been honed over lonely, long weeks on Bodmin Moor with his trainer Massimo Perret, who first taught him to box in his days in the Bronx in New York. Right hand from Thompson. And sharp with the jab too. And it does look as if Eubank's tactics are to get in, throw fast flurries of punches, get away again.
Yes, that should be the tactics he adopts. Use the ring, use the angle, just get in quickly, get the speed, and then get out. Not be looking to mix it and make it a physical fight with the much stronger Thompson.
Eubank just on the run for a moment. Was he just shaken by one of those shots, you wonder? He's come back, he's regrouped. Floored in the first round, remember, last time by Calzaghe with a big left hook. Lovely right uppercut from Eubank. Beautiful shot.
He's shown some nice quick punches inside. He's very calculated about every move that he's making.
Thompson, 22 wins, 4 defeats. He has been on the floor 8 times in his career, Carl Thompson. Eubank's been down 6 times in all those long years. Thompson working quite nicely behind his own jab. But I think Eubank's round. Agree, Glenn?
I would agree. Eubank, he just did more of the eye-catching work He's a little bit busier, some nice little shots inside, and he's loving it. Now he's playing to the crowd. I think he was quite pleased with his round.
Yes, he didn't go back to the corner. He went to a neutral corner and did a spot of posing. And there were significantly, even in Thompson's hometown, chance of Eubank in that round.
Yes, he's always going to have a great deal of support. This is where he's on the run. He just gets caught with an uppercut there. Just a glancing blow, but he's on the run trying to get out of the way there. Just a short glancing blow, but I think it took a little out of him and he wanted to quickly make a hasty retreat.
Thompson has 16 knockout wins in those 22 victories. A lot of his best performances, Thompson, have been away from home. Thompson in the green trunks, but you barely need the identification, do you, by now? Not when Chris Eubank's in the ring. Beautiful combination from Chris Eubank. At the moment looks needle sharp, but is caught by a right hand, and that's the danger for him. He did seem moved by that, Glenn.
Yes, he does. It does look a difference in power. Every time he gets hit with a shot like that, he's looking to quickly get out of the way.
And 12 rounds is a long time to make this strategy of his work.
And that's where Thompson can gain the advantage. Eubank looking to hold inside, and that's where it's physical.
A couple of low blows there from Eubank. Roy Francis saying, keep your punches up to him. Francis was the referee on that tragic night of the Chris Eubank-Michael Watson fight. In fact, it was Roy Francis' first job as referee in a world title fight.
Just a few tricks going in from Eubank, just trying to unsettle Thompson.
Good body punching from Eubank, but Thompson looking heavy-handed. And you just wonder if one of these is really going to get Eubank going. He's always had a rock-solid chin. This is a big, big jump. 2 divisions in one leap.
Eubank doing an awful lot to the body of Thompson. Quick flurries there. I would have thought he would have headhunted in a fight like this.
Great right uppercut from Thompson, who's looking for some more heavy artillery. The battle lines, I think, are drawn here now. Eubank looking to use his speed to outbox Thompson. But that strategy involves him not getting hit too much, doesn't it?
Yes, and he's not moving as much as I would think, but a nice combination there.
Oh, he just rocked Thompson. Thompson's hurt. Thompson is hurt. Eubank's got him going. He has the power, even at cruiserweight. And back comes Thompson with a right hand. His legs still look a bit stiff himself. This is boiling up into the fight we thought it might be. What about this?
A good punch from Eubank. We didn't think he'd have the power to hurt Thompson, but he certainly did there.
And now he's indulging in psychological warfare. Eubank's never been noted as a great finisher, but what about this?
And now he's got the confidence. He knows he can hurt Thompson. And Thompson was looking very shaky.
He still does a bit to me.
I think he was taken by surprise that he was hurt there. A combination of punches, the right hand being the one that did the damage. When the legs went, Thompson dropped the hand, which was a big mistake and inexperience, and Eubank was very quick on him.
Eubank is looking extremely sharp and accurate and technically honed here, as he said he was.
Well, it was very good the way he put his punches together. There was a cluster of punches, and one got through that hurt Thompson. And I think really that's what he's got to try and do. Keep the punches going in clusters.
Thompson got through the round. Here comes round 3. Due to go 12, of course. The WBO Cruiserweight Championship. Eubank's 51st fight of a long, long career. He made 3 defences at middleweight and 14 at super middleweight.
Thompson's been hurt in fights before in the European title fight with a clean Tapper. He got off the floor to stop Tapper.
A terrific right uppercut from Thompson there. The other thing you worry about really with Eubank is whether all the miles on the clock, all the hard nights may catch up with him. He started very, very well. Just a little hint of a bruise underneath Eubank's left eye. Nothing much, really. Simultaneous jabs from them.
Well, I think the good thing in Eubank, his favour at this point, is he's managing to dictate the pace of the fight, so he can put the pressure on when he wants.
This is a good round for Thompson so far, his best yet. He's starting to settle down, you feel. Work behind his jab, and he's finding Eubank with that. Eubank with those low-held gloves, and maybe the reflexes aren't quite what they were. I can think of a time when he would have just moved his head a fraction of an inch to get out of the way of some of these.
No, he's having to take these jabs now. This is much better from Thompson behind the jab.
And another uppercut and a right cross from Thompson. This is the first dodgy period for Eubank. He's having to show that resilience. He'll be looking for counters in there. Eubank may have postured and gone through the pseudo-regal gestures down the years, but make no mistake, this man can fight. He's shown it in the trenches on a few occasions.
And I think the character and the toughness of Eubank has never been questioned. And he may need it in this fight.
Now there are a chance of Thompson from some of the Manchester contingent. Now this is spellbinding so far. Eubank had a bad first minute and a half in the round. He's got through that and come back pretty well himself here. Now he's starting to outbox Thompson, but I think it was still Thompson's round.
Eubank showing his experience there, just posturing around for the first 2 minutes, and then just towards the end starting to throw eye-catching punches just to try and take the judges' eyes.
There's that right uppercut.
Yes, there were some good punches in this round for Thompson. He won the round for me. It was steady, but he got his jab working, and that just kept Eubank off balance.
And here comes another power shot from Thompson in this exchange. He rode it a bit, didn't he?
He rode it a bit. He was coming in to get to the body. That's going to be a problem for Eubank. He is trying to throw a lot of body punches, and when he's got to get close to do that, and that's when he can be open.
Working in that Andries corner, by the way, as Massimo Perret. Somewhere in there is Dennis Andries, former world light heavyweight champion, who's been doing some sparring with Eubank in the build-up to this. Eubank a cruiserweight now. Beautifully poised at the moment, and you would hesitate to call a winner from this point, wouldn't you?
You know what, it's a very good fight. I think everybody sensed it would be. There's a lot of people came here to see this fight.
Thompson, the quiet family man who lives near the Bolton Wanderers football ground, works in Billy Graham's Phoenix camp here in inner city Manchester. Says he's never had any favours. He's right about that too.
Yes, he's worked hard, did it the hard way for everything he's got. had good fights in Europe.
Good cluster of shots from Thompson. Oh, and a terrific right hand from Eubank, which set the sweat spraying. And there was some kidology from Thompson, pretended to be hurt, and suckered Eubank in. And looked at right hand, and now he's got him with a right uppercut. Right uppercut from Eubank, who needs to get to a neutral corner. Thompson is down, and he may be in trouble. It's a mandatory 8. What a beautiful shot. Eubank found him there.
What an amazing fight this is. Great work from Chris Eubank.
This is an extraordinary fighter, and Eubank is finding all this, knowing that if he does not win, it is the end of the glory years. Thompson might still be dangerous.
Both boxers there landed with good right hands there. They're both trying to load up, looking for the other to make a mistake.
And the interesting thing is we thought Thompson would be the big puncher in this fight. Eubank has looked the puncher.
It's amazing that he stepped up 2 weights and carried power. His power even looks better at this weight.
Unless there is a bit of a question mark about Thompson's own punch resistance. He has been down a few times, got up to win usually. To be absolutely fair to him. Thompson's come through the crisis, but at the moment, a big factor in this fight, it seems to me, is Eubank's extra resilience.
Another bit of kidology from Thompson, but he is taking shots from Eubank.
Eubank, big round, and there's a mutual tap of the gloves from the two fighters who are appreciating each other's qualities.
Well, they're earning each other's respect in there. This is a great fight. This Thompson showing kidology there. He got caught with a good right hand, just pretended it was worse than it was, and came back with a big right hand of his own. There's the knockdown with the uppercut, and Thompson just looking as if he threw himself a little off balance at that point. He was going to throw a right hand, and the uppercut was a good one, but he just, as he threw his own, I think he just moved away, but still it was a knockdown and a decent one.
Timing of that shot was something else, wasn't it? Freddie King tending to damage by the left eye of Eubank. What a fight this is. Here's round 5. And those who said that this was mission impossible for Chris Eubank are having to do a hasty redraft. They could yet be proved right, though. We'll see.
A good jab from Thompson, who works better when he gets the jab working.
Oh, big right hand from Thompson. Again, it bounces off Eubank. There's a bit of a nick under the right eye now of Eubank as well. His left eye's closing up a little, you know. That left eye's closing up significantly for Eubank. That could become a big problem later on. It's becoming something of a slit.
Yes, it is. It closed very fast. That Thompson's got to carry on with the jab. That's a good punch for him.
That left eye could be a big problem for Eubank. He may not see some of the right hands coming as this develops. Thompson will be encouraged by that. Gulp of air from Eubank. Thompson's confidence for the moment appears to have been restored.
There seems to be a bit of strength which is just drained from Eubank in this round.
Just doesn't seem to have that speed and sharpness he had early on. Oh, and Thompson looking to let go with a few howitzers now.
Eubank not using the ring as good as he was. And he looks as if he's on heavy legs.
Yes, if the weight thing is going to tell, it would be as it went on, wouldn't it, more? Oh, big right hand, and again, Thompson's legs do a dance, and that time he wasn't kidding. That time he was hurt again. Eubank knows that he may have the power to stop or knock out this fellow. This is dodging this way and that at the moment. It's nearly dodging out of the ring.
Eubank coming back at the end of the round to hurt Thompson again, and he does have the power to upset the champion.
With a real thinking performance, this by Eubank. Well, Thompson was dominating the first 2 minutes of that round. Eubank came back and hurt him in the last minute. Even round?
I would just have lent towards Thompson. He did too much work at the beginning of the round for me to clinch it, but it was a very good spell at the end of the round from Eubank, who had Thompson hurt and reeling about at the bell.
Well, so much good action for you tonight. It really is a bag of goodies. And remember, when all this is over, we still have this fellow to come. Prince Nassim Hamed in a great fight against Alfredo Vasquez, until recently the WBA featherweight champion. He says round two. We shall see. Stay with us, as I'm sure you will, with the way this one's going. Eubank in those yellow trunks. Do you think Thompson will be psychologically disadvantaged, shall we say, by the fact that his best punches are not really moving Eubank yet?
Most definitely, and also the fact that he knows Eubank has the power to hurt him, and that could have a bad effect on his thinking. He's got to continue to be positive, and he's got to try and press forward more.
Most scorecards, I'm sure, will have Eubank ahead. Glenn McCrory's does. But this argument is a long way from being settled. It's funny, isn't it? For so long, Eubank looked so lazy in some of his defences in his earlier era. And against Calzaghe, and again tonight, he's pulled out two of the most memorable performances of his career.
Yes, well, I think that was really when he was in his heyday and he was getting all the attention, maybe too much attention. And now when it's much harder, good right hand from Thompson there.
That was a cracking right, but significantly again, Eubank just took it. And back comes Eubank with a three-punch combination.
Mohamed has a hard act to follow after this, because this is a tremendous performance by Chris Eubank.
Overhand rights from Eubank. Thompson having to take some on the way in. Eubank shakes his head as he's caught by a right hand by Thompson. Thompson will keep on throwing them, keep on trying to apply the pressure, and he may well believe that he will get to Eubank late on here. That left eye is closing all the time.
It's looking very bad, the left eye. That's going to be a major problem.
There's a long way to go. He was hurt by one of them, Eubank. But look at his response, fighting hard. Cracking right hand from Eubank that time.
It must be very tiring for Eubank. He's having to work very hard to keep Thompson off and keep hitting him with big shots.
Hard round to call that one. Waiting for the winner of this is Sheffield's Johnny Nelson, who's sitting here at ringside with us. Johnny, this is some fight, isn't it?
I think Chris is doing what a lot of boxing pundits predict him in boxing to the best of his ability. His ability well exceeds Carl's ability, and what Chris has got to do is not stand there in front of him, just keep boxing him, keep jabbing him, frustrating Carl, making Carl work, and making Carl extend his energy, and Chris will have a greater chance towards the end, but he's got to preserve his energy throughout the fight.
Thank you, Johnny. Now this is a problem, this left eye. They're really going to have to earn their money in that corner.
Yeah, and look at the punches, very close to the headshot for Eubank, a lot more body punches.
Okay. Thompson looking relatively unmarked as we move into the second half of the fight. Eubank looking off balance, and was that a sign of tiredness, the way he stumbled into the ropes on the far side?
Well, I think tiredness has to be a factor, but also he was really trying to load up with the right hand, give it everything he could.
He was squinting through that eye there. Oh,
big right hand from Thompson, that hurt Eubank.
And is he seeing some of these right hands now through that closed left eye? With this damage, this must look like a long tunnel ahead for Eubank at the moment. He's looking the superior technician, and he's shown he has the power at the weight as well, but there's a relentlessness now about Thompson. Eubank still very, very dangerous. They're tiring, the two of them, and you'd expect that too.
Eubank looking very tired there, falling into the ropes.
Unsteady on his legs a little. Is Thompson taking over?
This has been a very tough fight for both, where you just getting the sense that, you know, the stronger man looks the better the longer it's going on.
I don't recall Eubank ever having an injury this serious in a fight. Oh, a right hand, and Thompson's all over the place. He's all over the place. Roy Francis just on, and Eubank stands off. Why did he do that? Why did he stand off?
And it's unbelievable. He looked at first that he was out, and then he says to Roy Francis. So I don't know if he was kidding or what was happening. It's hard to tell in this fight.
Did he believe that Thompson was trying kidology? If he did, I think he was wrong. I think Thompson was hurt.
I think that's what he thought. I think he thought. I'm not sure how hurt Thompson was, because he was quick to reply to Roy Francis.
Well, will Eubank live to regret those few seconds? They're both looking very tired now. Eubank, straight right hand. Who has most left? Desire will become a big, big factor now. The way it looks at the moment, you'd be surprised if this went the full 12, wouldn't you?
You would be. It is a tremendous fight, and I think we've got to give credit to both these boxers, but Eubank is doing so well. And I think that is the question. Was he rocked here? He stood up. He's a big right hand. Then the left hook. He misses there. Then he falls into the ring. He's almost turning away from Eubank there. Certainly at that point, he looked badly hurt. Falls into the ropes. But then the referee comes in. Roy Francis comes to look at him. He quickly he just says something there. I'm not sure whether he was saying, listen, I'm just kidding. But I think at first he was hurt.
Well, who knows? Only Thompson can tell us. But look at that. I tell you what, he's an Oscar winner if he can. Look at the eyes. Look at his eyes.
Yes, he does. He's then looking at the ref. But then he quickly said, I think he must have been hurt at the beginning.
Unravel that one. 8th round. Seems like they've been out there for hours, doesn't it? Battling. It's a draining, grueling fight, this. Eubank fighting with one eye, almost.
But still doing enough on my scorecard. I just give him 1 point ahead.
Now, a timeout from Roy Francis. Not quite sure what he said to Eubank there. Oh, Eubank comes in with a right hand. What do you think Roy Francis was saying there?
Well, I think at times Eubank has held in close and he shouted his instructions and he's ignored it, and I think he was maybe just telling him to listen to what he's saying.
You almost sense that one of them is ready to go, but which one?
Well, it's appeared like that for the last few rounds. They both look desperately tired. Big punches are going in from each of them, and you just feel that either one could go.
It's certainly changed from that first session where Eubank was looking to use his speed and dance. Oh, big right uppercut, another right hand. Eubank digs deep and comes back with two great rights. What a fight this is. Who will prevail? Are you watching Eubank's final stand?
Well, there's a lot of pride in that ring. Neither one wants to give way. They both look hurt, then they come fighting back.
Oh, gets through his right hand, left, and Eubank showing all that resilience and rock solid chin, and look at him come back with a three-punch combination. Unbelievable stuff, this. Big, heavy headshots. Roy Francis takes a close look at both of them. Oh, another right and a right uppercut. Thompson, is he taking over? And every time you think he is, Eubank comes back with another flurry. But Thompson looks on top at the moment.
Thompson looks strong. You wouldn't think Eubank can keep taking punches like these. These are heavy shots.
Oh, he's got him with a left hook, Eubank. But Thompson resumes the assault. He had to call it off for just a split second. And now Thompson's legs look a little wobbly. Has he punched himself out for the moment? Answer no, because he has a right hand.
These are boxing each other to a complete standstill. This is terrific stuff.
They are bearing their souls, these two. This is memorable. There were times there when Carl Thompson looked on the very verge of victory, but every time that happened, Eubank came back with his own flurry, and there was one memorable left hook from him with his back to the ropes.
At this point, he's just looking as if he's ready to go. They're having a close look in the corner at the eye. It's swollen, almost completely shut. But he, at this point, just looks as if he's going to go at any second, and then he comes fighting back. Tremendous heart, tremendous pride.
That eye has been closed for several rounds for Eubank. How much has Thompson got left? These brave gladiators. Is Eubank on the verge of being stopped for the very first time in his long career? What next here? Here's the 9th round. Thompson looks stronger at the moment, doesn't he?
Big right hand there from Thompson. He does. He looks as if it's finally getting to Eubank. The extra weight, the extra strength.
Eubank having to lay on the ropes more. His legs seem to have gone a little.
Good uppercut right hand coming out there, Eubank.
You do feel that Eubank needs to get out of there, but I don't know, maybe he's happy just covering up and countering and hoping he can rock Thompson with one.
Well, I think he's just maybe taking a respite there, just got to try and get a bit of zap back in his leg. Now he's back with movement.
Against a lot of lesser men, Thompson, you feel, would have prevailed, worn his man down by now.
Big shots again in there from Thompson. Eubank content to stand in the corner. Not the best place you feel for him.
Both of them digging so deep and showing enormous desire in pursuit of this prize of a version of the World Cruiserweight Championship. Not much coming back from Eubank at the moment.
But Thompson also looking very tired.
Oh, two big rights, and Thompson has to give them. There's a third one. He's all over the place. Will Eubank go in this time? Thompson's head is clearing.
Big right hand. Eubank's just been waiting there, just trying to get the energy for a big attack.
4 or 5 times it seemed in this fight that Eubank has really had Thompson going and not been able to press home the advantage.
Well, the crowd appreciating this work from Eubank, shouting out his name.
Well, it's a sensational fight, this. This one will be talked about in years to come as one of the momentous battles in the British ring.
Thompson putting the pressure on Eubank, keeping him in the corner for most of the round, and then Eubank comes out with flashy punches, big overhand right. That hurt Thompson, but again he just couldn't follow up with the punches he needed to get the job done.
And how are the judges scoring it? One from Puerto Rico, one from the United States, Dave Paris from England. Most of the pressure in the rounds is coming from Thompson, but then suddenly Eubank comes out and he seems to hurt Thompson more than Thompson can actually hurt him.
That's what I think he feels. He's getting tired. Thompson's very strong. He has to keep his energy and just try and take him by surprise with a combination like this.
And here's round 10. Oh, smashing ramrod jab from Thompson. Now that's just a trip up. He tripped over his legs. No knockdown. No knockdown. Thompson acknowledges as much. Right hand. Sending Eubank reeling for a moment, but he's still keeping it together. There's Glenn McCrory's scorecard coming up for you now, in a moment or two. Anyway, there it is.
Now it's just got the tide turning there. For the first time, I'm putting Thompson ahead. Just the 1 point.
I think it must be close. Some of these rounds have been open to different interpretations, and we've seen in the past how subjective the business of judging can be. But will the judges be needed? At times now they almost seem to be fighting in slow motion.
If the legs are very tired, this has been a very hard fight. The conditioning from both fighters must have been excellent to keep this pace going, to take these punches.
All that preparation on Bodmin Moore for Eubank is getting him through here.
Eubank just falling forward, falling into the arms of Thompson there. Very tired.
busier. That will carry some weight with the judges. The big crowd here have seen a fight to remember, but which way is it going? Left hook, now the jabs from Thompson.
Good pressure from Thompson, but I think we're just expecting something at any time from Eubank. Every round he's brought something out.
It's a superhuman effort, this, from both of them, but especially from Eubank, who you feel has gone back to the tank about 50 times. And every time he comes back with just a wee bit more fuel. Thompson's round, Glenn?
Yes, for me he worked better, but the appreciation is from everybody. George Foreman on his feet at the end of that round, clapping the action.
Thompson's landed 212, Eubank 238 from less thrown. Better precision from him by a long way.
You gotta win the two more rounds. Two more rounds to go. Dangerous, Chris.
You need 2 more rounds to win the fight, they're telling him.
Follow him with the
I think tonight that Eubank is having to experience a fight every bit as savage and draining and demanding as that memorable fight he had with Nigel Benn in 1990 at the NEC, which none of us who saw it will ever forget.
Yes, he really is. This is an epic battle for Eubank. I don't think anybody really thought he had this sort of fight left in him. He's been through so many great fights, and then to perform like this is remarkable.
This might well depend on what happens in the last 2 rounds. Although we can't possibly be absolutely certain of that. Thompson has certainly been doing the better work and more of it in the second half of the fight. Eubank seemed to be the boss for the most part in the first half, if generalisations are possible.
Yes, I think at this point Thompson looks the fresher. I think we expected that the extra weight, the jump up, had to take its toll, and it is in these late rounds.
Oh, huge right hand from Eubank. Was Thompson hurt by that? I just wondered whether he was holding on for a moment. Seems okay. Shouting at Eubank to work off the jab in the corner.
Good left hook in there from Thompson. Again, just trying to keep the pressure on Eubank.
The draining body shot coming in from Eubank. These two, well, there'll be almost a fusion of spirits between them after experiencing this together between these ropes. Eubank's covering up while he's taking a few of those on the gloves.
Eubank trying to use all of his experience in these late rounds just to make his work be accurate, not to waste energy.
Thompson's still doing more. I wonder if Eubank is thinking in the back of his mind that he's in a lead and is in a situation where he's holding on and staying out of trouble. If he is doing that, he may be making a mistake. Boxers are often the worst scorers of fights when they're involved in them.
Well, it's very hard to really know what's going on point-wise when you're in there. You know he's in a very tough fight.
Look at that dancing Eubank just did there. Look how fresh his legs were to do that. I didn't think he still had that in there.
Well, he was dancing, but then he lost balance towards the end, which shows you that he is tight. He's just trying to look fresh. Thompson's still looking the better, putting more shots in.
Thompson is winning these late rounds, you feel. There wasn't a whole lot from Eubank in that round, really. George Foreman, who's standing about 2 yards away from Glenn and I, is on his feet and clapping. He's appreciating this fight, and rightly so.
Well, you couldn't fail to appreciate this. This is a marvellous fight. Thompson, so much pride. He wants to defend his title. It's his hometown in Manchester. He wants to have a good fight, but Eubank is making him fight every step of the way.
But I guess you've got Thompson pulling away now, haven't you?
I've given him nearly everything of the last few rounds. I've done 3 rounds ahead.
I've given Thompson the last 4, but I had Eubank in a useful lead before that. So it still might be close. Who knows? The 12th and last round. People are on their feet all around this arena. You can see Helen Mirren, the actress, in the background there. 2 rows back. And Eubank looks for a big finish. Has he been holding a little back? What were the odds on the draw? 33 to 1.
Well, this is going to be a hard one to settle. A lot of these rounds have been pretty close, but I'd give it Thompson pulling away towards the end. And a handy lead of 3 points. He's just looked the pressure. But Eubank's had some marvellous moments in this fight.
Doubling up on the jab, right hand. Sharp work from Eubank still. Eubank's talking to him now. They can both see the finishing tape. Eubank holding his arms aloft, trying to send out signals to the judges, maybe. I think they're too experienced to buy that.
I think it's also a little kidology to Thompson, maybe trying to just make him lose his cool, just lull him into a big punch.
Well, we didn't think he could go 12 rounds. I noticed Eubank there nod to George Foreman.
There's a smile and he's got a permanent wink with the left eye, so it may not have been a wink.
He's had that for about half an hour too. Shouts of Eubank ringing around, some of Thompson too. It's been one of the great fights seen in a British ring. Eubank again says something to Thompson.
He had to take a left hook for his effort. Eubank trying to sucker Thompson in.
That's right, and look for a counter.
We'll expect a big finish to this round from Eubank.
23 seconds left. If he's going to do that, he'll need to do it fast. Does Eubank feel he's ahead? They'll both claim the victory here, I'm sure. He's carrying out a running conversation in there as the seconds tick away. Maybe Eubank just got that last round. Look how the fans here, nearly 20,000 of them at the 9X in Manchester, celebrate. You think Thompson's won?
I think
it's close.
Probably by about 3 points. But I think Eubank has gained so much respect from that performance.
They're carrying Eubank around the ring, but this really is all part of the psychological warfare. You can ignore this. They're carrying him around like he's a winner. Thompson now has his arms aloft.
A great appreciation for a great fight. I don't think we'll sit through many more as grueling and as tough as that.
Yes, it's been a privilege to witness such a fight. Eubank, that left eye was a handicap for him for such a long way. in the contest. It was certainly a factor. And I remember saying with about 5 rounds to go, this doesn't look as if it can go 12. It did.
But a long way through the fight, it just went to and fro. You thought one was going to go, then the other one. It was that sort of fight, but Thompson, for me, just had the better work rate. Eubank come with in snatches. There was some great work where he had Thompson in big trouble, but he just didn't have the work rate throughout the round to get the points.
But did Eubank win most of those early rounds? How far ahead was he before Thompson took over? That's going to be how those early rounds were scored. Could be quite a factor.
Yes, he was winning big. I had him at a 10-8 round in the fourth.
Yeah, with Thompson being down.
So he was doing very well early on, but as the fight went on, it didn't appear that Eubank's punches were hurting Thompson quite as much.
We're going to get the decision any moment now from Michael Buffer. Puerto Rican judge, American, and an English judge. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecards, but before we do, how about a round of applause for this great example of hand-to-hand combat here in a boxing ring between champion and challenger. The scoring is as follows. Luis Pavon scores about 114 to 113. $116 to 113 from John Paris. 114 to 113 from John Stewart for the winner by unanimous decision. And still,
Thompson has got it. And Eubank, after such a brave gladiatorial effort, is beaten for the 4th consecutive world title fight, and they will argue over that, judging of that fight, I'm sure. I bet when we ask around, people had all kinds of different interpretations of that, but Thompson, give him all the credit in the world, in a great, great fight, has prevailed, and is it the end, you wonder, of Eubank's career? Will he want to go on after such a draining battle as that? It was a fight, really, that neither of them deserved to lose.
They didn't. It was a great fight, but I think Thompson worked hard. He's deserved this world title. He had to prove himself tonight. He gets his moment of glory, and I think in his career he deserves that.
Look at the scorecards. 1 round in it on 2 of the cards. Dave Parris, the English judge, gave it to Thompson by 3 rounds. I felt it was very, very close. It was too close, really, to have a serious argument about either way, but your heart goes out to Eubank, really, after that. It was a brilliant performance from him, but well done too to Carl Thompson, because he was hurt and looked on the verge of going a few times.
In case you were in any doubt, that was Chris Eubank's 23rd world title fight. Easily a British record. May it stand for a long time. But there's no gainsay. Carl Thompson won this fight on every card, and may now go on from strength to strength as a reigning world cruiserweight champion. Barry McGuigan, just a quick word about Eubank first.
Well, that was the most courageous, tenacious, decent fight that I've seen him put up for a long, long time. He, I thought, lost it in the last quarter of it, really. But what a showing of courage and determination. His face was lumped up and bruised from the midway stages. Fantastic, and you got to take your hat off to him. And listen, with a performance like that, he could always ask for a rematch, couldn't he?
Indeed. Jim Watt, you've covered Eubank fights going way back to the glory days, 1990, 1991. What would you say about that Eubank tonight?
Probably the most wonderful performance I've seen from him. It's hard to believe this is the fellow who served up so many boring title defences in his early career. But as a challenger in his last couple of fights, he's been completely superb. That was a wonderful performance tonight. I think the right man got the verdict, but what a wonderful fight.
Let's talk first to the man who got the verdict. Well done to Carl Thompson. He and his trainer, Billy Graham, are with Ian Dow.
Well, congratulations, Carl. Still the champion, but what a great, great fight. You must feel privileged to be a part of that.
I'm not taking anything away from Chris, but Chris performed brilliant. I have to go back and see what I'm doing wrong. But even though I won, that's not Carl Thompson in there.
You weren't doing too much wrong. You won a memorable fight.
I know. I'm very critical. And very critical. And I think I took too much notice of my mistakes, what I'm doing wrong. And then Chris is catching me. And I kind of thought that's what I learned, a valuable lesson today. But I tell you, I kept on trying. No way I was going to let it go. I kept on trying to the very end. And I'm going to give my hands to Chris for a brilliant fight.
Did you expect it was going to be quite as demanding and grueling and memorable as that?
I expect it was going to be a tough fight. I didn't think I was going to perform that badly. You know what I mean? Even though I win.
I don't think you really need to go into all this self-recrimination. Tell us what you think. Tell us what you think that victory has done for your career, because you spent a lot of time in the shadows, haven't you?
You see, I just show people that I got the grit and the determination. The determination got me through, and throughout my fight, the determination got me where I am now, and it got me through this fight. And I show the people that with grit and determination, they can do it as well. They can do what they want to achieve. So I just, thank goodness I'm the champion still.
Be honest with me, he seemed to have you really going a few times, didn't he, in the early part of the fight?
It's me, I tend to trick. And Mr. Ralph Francis told me don't do the trick. Nothing wrong with it. I shouldn't do the trick because the referee can stop it. I've got to admit it hurt me when he knocked me down, but the other occasion it hurt me, but not hurt me enough. I wanted him to come in, and he was a bit wary of it. So it's all tricky, you know. You've got to really put me down before I go, believe me.
I don't know, it was tiring just to watch it. You need about 5 years off, don't you, to get over that now?
No, I'll be straight back into the gym. I'll be straight back in there and doing and practicing and waiting for the next challenger. You know what I mean? And the next challenger will be a lot better.
Well done tonight, Carl. You're in a fight that people will talk about for years.
Could I say thank you to the Manchester fan? I really appreciate it, you know. Sometimes it feels so lonely, I tell you. And to know that people out there are supporting me, behind me, I tell you, it's brilliant. It's a brilliant feeling, and I thank you very much from the bottom of my heart that you come out and support me. I thank you very much.
One last question. You want a rematch with him?
I have a rematch with anyone. I'm not bothered. I'm not scared of people who I fight. So if Chris wants to come again, I'll come again. And I want pain this time, really, basically, because there's a lot of people out there who want to see me lose, and I won't mention any names. You know what I mean? And I come trumps again, and I prove them I can still do it.
Well done tonight, Carl. Thanks a lot.
We can only say well done to Carl Thompson, and let's hope he does go on now to earn the money out of this tough game that his dedication certainly merits. We hope to get backstage and talk to Chris Eubank in just a moment or two. WBO World Cruiserweight Champion. And Jim, what about that performance from Thompson?
Wonderful performance. I know Eubank's going to get all the credit because he was the underdog and we didn't expect him to perform like that, but you have to hand it to Thompson. He was very self-critical. I think when a fighter's in a real hard fight like that, they tend to be self-critical. They think they box badly because they're not used to being hit so often. But when Carl watches that on tape tomorrow, he's going to realise what a wonderful performance it was. I mean, it took a wonderful performance to beat Eubank tonight.
Nicky?
A great performance by both boxers, so courageous. I think that Eubank will look at that and rue not going forward. He could have won that fight by knockout. The second round, I think it was the 5th round, there were so many chances. He did the same against Steve Collins. I mean, throughout his whole career, he could have won 2 of the fights he actually lost.
Barry, you said Eubank's best chances would be early in this fight.
Yeah, and it turned out to be true, but what was remarkable was how vulnerable Thompson was. He was hurt so many times in the second round here. It looked, and I thought it would only be at Eubank's speed in the early rounds, but Eubank continued to hurt him and continued to make him look like shaky at every given moment that he broke through. This is round 4 again, and he's just breaking through with punches. And look at this. I mean, he said he was fooling here. He wasn't.
Well, what about
fooling.
that?
He was badly hurt. I mean, that really is ridiculous. A ridiculous statement. He was stunned with that punch, and as I agree with Nicky. He would be so disappointed when he watches. If he'd have made the effort in the early rounds, this fight wouldn't have gone into the second half. All he had to do was string 3 or 4 punches together.
But you can't tell me that a man as experienced as Eubank would be fooled by Thompson appearing to be hurt and not
But Chris has never
following
been
through.
a good finisher. That has been a criticism all the way through his career. He hurts fighters with
Here's a
long,
case in
wide
point.
punches. He doesn't put punches together very well, Eubank. He forces his punches, so he's not a good finisher. But here again, I mean, he stood off and stared at the man, looked at the referee. He is gone there. He is gone there.
Absolutely, totally gone. And all it took was 3 punches. Now, I know and I've ridiculed him in the past for not throwing punches and coming forward and trying to learn how to improve his aggressive boxing. But he had this guy so many times. And all he had to do was walk in and go 1, 2, 3, and the fight could have been over.
Jim, just as a layman here, you know, I said you've covered Eubank fights, and if he's going into retirement here, what I will remember from Eubank's career is Eubank under this sort of pressure, so often through his career, but you cannot put him away.
The man has never lacked courage or sheer heart for the game. And listen to the reception he got as he left the ring tonight. I mean, the most popular man in the house. I mean, I know Naz has still to come, but if Naz finishes tonight's work as popular as Eubank, I'll be surprised. Because that was a wonderful performance of courage, stamina, ability, everything that is good in boxing was shown by both these guys tonight.
Well, indeed, maybe Carl Thompson has taken a giant step forward because he's lived with this
He has
task.
taken a giant step forward, but he's shown such frailty tonight that I think that Johnny Nelson will be rubbing his hands together. I'll actually put my money back on a replay of this fight. This will be in 3 months' time. I think you can guarantee these two will be back in for twice as much money. Because everybody wants to see that again. That was such a brilliant fight.
And you know what it is? It's such a shame for Carl Thompson. He has never had the chance to earn big money. And I'll tell you what, next time around, I would favour Eubank. Because he looked so shaky in the early rounds. He'd look at this fight and he'd say, next time I get a chance at him, I won't let it slip.
What a fight! Are you watching? Are you watching?
If you only get to see one fight this year, make sure it's this one.
Are you watching Eubank's final stand?
One of the most evenly matched contests of the decade. Carl Thompson and Chris Eubank go head-to-head again.
Are you watching?
The rematch, Saturday at 9:30, Sky Sports 1.
Time round, Carl Thompson and Chris Eubank took us all to the limit. Now they will try again.
Unbelievable stuff, this. Who will prevail? And still, Thompson has got it. Real thriller for you, Chris Eubank, in one of the fights of the year, if not the fight of the year, against Carl Thompson. But what will Eubank's strategy be this time around?
If it comes to a war, then I would hope that I'll be prepared, as I've always been prepared, to show my true grit, which is to staying there, come what may. But saying that I have a plan, and it will be my strategy to stick to that plan. If I go to war, it means that my strategy hasn't worked.
Well, you never know when he's trying to wind you up. That was a great... He should be a politician, shouldn't he?
That's right. He just confuses you more and more.
What is the game plan, then?
I have no idea. I think there's only him knows what he's going to do.
Now, there's some suggestion that Eubank might try to get less involved this time and out.
Eubank in the 90s has had Ben, and then Collins. Now there's Carl Thompson. One difference to the Eubank of the early 90s, as challenger, now he has to come first from his dressing room, leaving the champion to follow him to the ring. But something tells me that Thompson will know that Eubank is making his entrance. And our master of ceremonies, Mike Goodall.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the main event of the evening, so let's go! And making his entry first, please welcome the one and only Chris Eubank!
Chris Eubank is back for more, only 91 days after that first brutal and draining battle with Carl Thompson. But is this a title fight too far? Is Eubank now entering that dangerous twilight zone where ring-worn fighters delude themselves that they can still cut it? Or will this preening old showman produce a performance to silence those who say that he should quit before he gets hurt? After going 10 years unbeaten, Eubank has now not won a World Championship fight since 1994. Glenn, can he buck the trend tonight?
Well, it's a difficult one for him. Obviously, he has a chance because he hurt Thompson time and time again in the last fight. He's going to have to look at his tactics, look what he did wrong. But I'm sure he believes that there is a way to beat him. He knows he can hurt him, and that's a great confidence. Even though he lost the fight mentally, he knows he has the power to upset him, and I'm not sure he did before their first fight, but he knows now. And in it, 4 defeats, he can still make an entrance.
Well, he's always been able to do that, all right. He arrived in the arena tonight carrying a briefcase as if he was going to a cabinet meeting. And apparently in the car on the way to the arena, he was reciting Winston Churchill's speech about fighting them on the beaches. And you know what happens next, I think. Or do you?
Well, I think he did the same last time. That's all changed because of Naz's remark. So he did it different now.
But he's got more weight these days to hump over that ring rope.
Yes,
13 stone 9 1/4 at the first time of asking, 1 1/4 over. Now, how do you read that weight?
Well, there's a lot of thought gone under the fact that he's going to try and outbox him, use his speed, fight a different fight. But I think he wouldn't have put the extra weight on if that was a plan. I think you put the extra weight on, you're not looking for speed. You're going to lose a bit of speed, but what you're going to gain is a bit of strength and speed. And I think he wants to stand there. He's going to go for it very early, I think.
And while all that's been going on, Carl Thompson, who is, let's remind you, the world champion, as recognised by the WBO at this weight, though you'd scarcely think it from all the publicity that Eubank has been getting in the build-up. He is waiting to make his entrance. And worth reminding ourselves again that Thompson is the older man at 34, older by 3 years.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the ring, the WBO Cruiserweight Champion of the World, Carl Thompson!
It's a very pro-Eubank crowd, this.
Yes, I think in his last few fights in defeat, as Ali did when he was defeated, he's gained so much because of that. He showed real spirit and guts, and he showed he wasn't just a showman. He could really dig down and show his character, and I think he's gained so much because of that, Eubank.
Carl Thompson is entering this arena to chants of Eubank, Eubank from the fans. This is his record. Looks like Thompson is delaying his entrance for maximum dramatic effect as well.
Yes, I think he wants to. He's learned a lot over recent fights. He wants to steal the show a bit from Eubank. I think he's been upset He had a lot of things that gone on, things that Eubank has said, and I spoke to him a few days ago, and he was generally upset by it all, and he had a different sort of intensity about him. He really said he wanted to win, he wanted to win badly, and he was going to stop Eubank. He would stop him this time.
Yes, that's right. Thompson was saying this time I'll retire Eubank for good. A family man from Bolton, and he looks, doesn't he, genuinely shocked by this cool reception he's getting.
Yes, he does. He's looking around there, and I think, you know, you wonder what's going through his mind. He's the champion, and all of a sudden he seems to be the villain, and he's got to wonder why. He laid his heart out in that ring as well. He showed immense character.
Yes,
and I think, you know, we have to praise what he went through as well. He was the one that was down. He was hurt, and he come through all of that to win.
Absolutely. Yes, he was part of a really gladiatorial battle in that first savage fight between these two. He's a good fighter, Thompson, as well. Shy, likeable, family man. Very well conditioned, but though he denies it, he was shaken up several times by Eubank's punching in the first fight. If there's a weakness, it may be a questionable resistance to punches. Tail of the tape for this fight, looking like this. Thompson, as I said, the older man by 3 years at 34. That might surprise some people. Thompson taller too, and with a slight reach advantage down at the bottom there. Eubank made that 13 stone 7 pounds by stripping naked and doing a full Monty in Sheffield at the third time of asking, and with 5 minutes to spare. Eubank, so many more fights, so many more rounds, but Thompson with the higher knockout percentage. They're at a lower level usually. Rules, mandatory 8, no standing 8, no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop it. The bell will save a fighter only in the last round. The bookmakers make Carl Thompson favourite to retain the title and repeat his victory of 91 days ago. 9-4 on Eubank, 13-8. Fancy the draw? 33-1. They're not exactly giving money away there, are they?
Ladies and gentlemen, this contest is sanctioned and conducted under the rules of the World Boxing Organization, whose president, Francesco Valcasel of Puerto Rico, is at ringside as supervisor this evening. The British Boxing Board of Control supervisor is their General Secretary, Mr. John Morris from London, and the steward in charge this evening, Mr. Leonard Nipper-Reid, QPM, President of the British Boxing Board of Control. The timekeeper, Mr. Colin Rollins from Halifax. And the judges sat at ringside scoring the contest are Adelaide Triplett of Philadelphia, USA, Mr. Roy Francis from London, and Mr. Ruben Garcia of Texas. And the referee in charge of tonight's action, officiating in his 38th World Title contest from Derby, England, Mr. Paul Thomas. My lords, ladies and gentlemen, from the steel city of Sheffield, England and Sheffield Arena, to viewers in Britain on Sky Sports, across Europe and around the world, it's big fight time! Frank Warren for Sports Network proudly presents World Championship Boxing and the rematch. Sponsored by Acclaim Entertainment with Turok 2. This contest is of 12 3-minute rounds to decide the WBO Cruiserweight Championship of the world. And introducing the boxers. And firstly, out of the red corner, coming from Brighton, England, wearing his familiar gold trunks, he weighed in at 13 stone 7 pounds and holds a professional record from 51 professional contests of 45 wins, 23 by way of KO, with 4 losses and 2 draws. He's the former middleweight appears in his 24th World Championship contest. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, he is the challenger. He's known as simply the best, the one and only Chris Eubank.
Eubank choking with tears of emotion. What do we read into that? I've never seen that before from him.
And ladies and gentlemen, fighting out of the blue corner from Manchester, England, wearing the green and yellow trunks, he weighed in at 13 stone, 7.5 pounds, and holds a professional record of 27 contests, 23 wins, 16 by way of the big KO, with 4 losses. Tonight he is appearing in his 4th World Championship contest and making the 2nd defence of his title. Presenting the WBO Cruiserweight Champion of the World, Carl the Cat Thompson. And our man from the neutral corner, Mr. Paul Thomas, will now give his instructions to both boxers.
Well, what do we read into Eubank's tears? Does he think this is his last fight? What do you think, Glenn?
I don't know. Maybe that could be the realization of what this is going to be. The last fight must have took so much out of both these. Who is it took the most out of? You know, is this a signal that it's took an awful lot mentally as well as physically out of Eubank?
They're doing this very quickly again, considering just what a punishing affair the first fight was between them. It's maybe too quick, to be perfectly honest with you. You don't really need the identification, but Eubank, of course, in the yellow trunks, as always. How will it pan out this time? In the first fight, Eubank made a sharp start and straight away finds a right hand.
Well, I do expect him to try and overwhelm Thompson. I think that's his best chance. If he can really rush him early, try and catch him.
Most people have been saying this one will either be Eubank early or Thompson late.
Well, I spoke to Eubank privately, and he said that himself. He admitted it, that his best chance was early. He had to try and go out all guns blazing, or he readily admitted that Thompson would probably be too strong for him in the late rounds.
Eubank knows he has the punch power to trouble Thompson. He had him going several times in the first fight, but could never finish the job, and ended up, of course, paying for it on the scorecards at the end.
But interesting, Ian, we talked to Dennis Andrews, and he was very confident about Chris Eubank this time. He thought he'd stop Thompson.
Dennis Andrews, who's been working with Chris Eubank in recent fights. Eubank caught with a right hand there, a little bit careless of him. That's not like him. He'll know that that was a mistake, and the perfectionist inside him will be telling himself off, so to speak.
Well, in the early days, he could go on a little walkabout. He had the speed and reflexes to do that. These days, it's much more difficult to get away with anything like that.
Eubank, remember, heaviest ever here tonight. Looking as big as you can ever remember seeing him. Even bulky, built for strength. And maybe even a little extra power, who knows? Thompson less flashy, but just works away methodically and more the natural cruiserweight. Remember, Eubank started at 11 stone 6 middleweight.
And Eubank came out very fast, but Thompson kept with him. He looks very focused. He realized that Eubank would probably try and come out and have a big start, and he really wanted to be all business this time. They talked about last time he touched gloves between rounds, and Billy Graham didn't want none of that. He wanted him to be really ruthless.
Eubank started the round fast, looking to end it quickly too. He knows what the 3 minutes is. Every boxer has that imprinted in his brain. All training geared to that 3 minutes. Eubank, did he do enough to win that opening round? What do you think, Glenn?
Well, I thought they both had good little spells. Eubank, very early in the round, he'd come out, threw some good punches. We see he's ready for it, Thompson. He's keeping his guard up, but he also got caught off a few as well, and Thompson had a couple of good spells. An even round for me.
Second round, Eubank in his 24th world title fight tonight, a British record. It's the 4th for Carl Thompson. Sometimes the rematches aren't as good as the original, and the rematch that Eubank had in Manchester with Nigel Benn comes to mind there. Could never have been as good as the first fight. Can they recreate the drama here?
It would be hard to get a similar sort of fight, you must think, but these are two very, very proud men. Both had very different backgrounds. That was a good punch from Eubank, just seemed to stagger Thompson.
It's not half bad so far. Eubank will be worried, of course, about that left eye, which swelled up grotesquely. He's caught Thompson again there. Thompson's defences looking a little leaky. Eubank very effective with that right uppercut and trying to slip a little more, maybe, than he did in the first fight.
It's also he's trying to reserve energy. He's staying in close. He's just trying to use head movement, keep his strength. Much more movement from Eubank in the first fight.
Eubank knows he can't afford another defeat here. He's lost 4 world title fights in a row now. 2 against Steve Collins, 1 against Joe Calzaghe when he fought pretty brilliantly, I thought, even in defeat. And of course against Thompson when he put up a terrific effort too. But he needs a win. Thompson will be determined, though, to stay in the big league and get the money that he can from holding on to this WBO Cruiserweight Championship.
Heavy right hand from Thompson there, but Eubank's had some good flurries landing in this round. He's looked fast.
Just as in the first fight, Eubank looking the faster and sharper early on. But what happened in that first fight was that, in the end, Thompson wore him down and got to him in the late rounds. Very busy in this second round, Eubank. Thompson having to take quite a bit. Big body shot, though, from Thompson. It's the sort of thing he'll be looking for, and a good jab on the bell, but Eubank's round. Round for Chris Eubank, and it's a funny thing, since he's been losing, his popularity seems to be greater than it ever was all the time he was a champion.
That's right, he was always seen as a villain. Now something in defeat, something of a hero.
Billy Graham doing the talking to Carl Thompson in the other corner. And Chris Eubank with Ernie Fossey, the excellent cutsman, in his corner for the very first time tonight. He's been in the opposite corner a couple of times when Eubank has been beaten.
Well, he finished the last fight with a very swollen eye, and I think, you know, there's precautions there. Maybe, you know, just danger and doubt that it may also swell up, or worse, he may get a cut.
And that was the kind of punch, too, that could cause the eye to swell up. That stiff left jab. Thompson might even be looking for that. Must be a little bit of scar tissue there, you'd feel.
Thompson looking strong, pushing Eubank on the back foot.
recreation of what we saw in the later rounds of the first fight, with Eubank with his back to the ropes and Thompson leaning on with his strength and thumping home these punches. Eubank really needs to get out of there.
Good right hand there from Eubank, straight through the guard of Thompson.
But this is more Thompson's kind of fight. Trapped in the corner like that, though Eubank is dangerous with counter punches, always has been.
Yes, I think the heavier single punch maybe Thompson, but Eubank has more effect when he puts them together.
By the way, the judges tonight, 2 American judges, one of them a woman judge. And from Britain, Roy Francis, who refereed the first fight. Paul Thomas from Derby refereeing this one.
Well, in this round they didn't need a ring as big as it is. Good right hands from Eubank.
2 rights from him, then 1 back from Thompson. It's just like the first fight, neither of them prepared to surrender any kind of initiative at all. And there's been a bit of bad blood between them in the build-up to this one. They refused to shake hands at the press conference on Thursday.
Well, it looks as if it could be every bit as good as the last one. Certainly these opening rounds are being like that, very intense, very physical.
He might do it all over again.
Well, any thought that Eubank was going to box and be careful has gone out of anybody's minds. This is physical and big punches.
Look at the 2 of them exchanging the shots here. It's as we thought, Eubank really too big now and too heavy to get on his toes and dance. Not that that was really ever his game anyway. Big jabs from both of them. Some blood by the mouth of Thompson. What a fight, what a round. Fossey chatting away to Eubank in the corner. It's a good presence for him to have there, isn't it, tonight?
Just very experienced, Ernie Fossey, and very calm and influence, but he knows exactly what to say. He's asking for more jabs from Eubank.
Look at that. Only 3 punches in it, according to the computer, and punches landed so far.
Well, neither man's really got on top as yet. Both had good spells, and now my corner's still got this very poised level.
I have Eubank just in front. You'd say 2 of those first 3 rounds would be quite tough to score. I think Eubank definitely won the second. Good shot from him there. Found a little left hook come uppercut on the inside, then followed it with the stiff jab too.
Well, that was the jab that Ernie Fossey asked for, and it worked very well there. I think Eubank's going to try and conserve energy in the early part of the fight, and that's why there's not as much foot movement. He's going to try and stay in close and use better head movement.
Yes, he has to last home this time. He did get to the final bell last time, but he was wilting in most of the late rounds and laying around on the ropes. I think that's what cost him it, because he certainly dominated the first half of the fight. And just the impression here that Eubank is faster, doing more and sharper with his punches.
Well, he's doing more, he's getting off quicker, but Thompson's boxing better than he did in the early part of this fight than he did in the last fight. He's pushing it more. Maybe his plan is to really push it right from the start, make him work hard right from the start, and hope that he'll tire much earlier.
Furious barrage here from Eubank. He's got Thompson going, his legs stiffened there, but he didn't go down from the right hand, and look at Thompson come back. Terrific action there. Eubank insists that this time he will not stand off, as he did in the first fight, if he gets his man going. Oh, that was a huge left from Eubank. And a right hand. Goodness me, it can't go 12 rounds like this again, can it?
You wouldn't think so. I think a lot of people think it's going to land inside the distance. Thompson took some good ones to come out with a good right and left.
You feel that something has to give somewhere along the way this time. Keep asking Is the fight too soon? And is it a fight too far for Eubank? But how much did the first one take out of Thompson, too? I mean, what a tribute to the conditioning of these guys, that they can come back 91 days later and do this sort of thing again.
It's remarkable, and remarkable how they must have worked over the years to get their body in this sort of condition and to be able to work the way they are.
Eubank, remember, was in hospital for 2 days after the first fight, mainly precautionary, just while that eye swelling went down. It's a great fight again. That was a pretty good round for Eubank, that last one.
It was a good one. He landed with a very good punch. It just seemed to hurt Thompson there, that right hand going in. Always when he puts his punches together in a cluster, that's where he looks dangerous, Eubank.
Ian Darke and Glenn McCrory with you at ringside at the Sheffield Arena. This is the 5th round, due to go 12. At stake, the World Cruiserweight Championship as recognised by the World Boxing Organisation.
I think it's important for Eubank to use the jab more. I think that is just what he needs to keep Thompson off balance. That's how I've got it. Just Eubank with the last round, winning that, just edging it.
Can Eubank sustain this level of performance through 12 rounds, though, after a career which has spanned nearly 400 rounds over 13 years?
Well, I think in every fight in his life there's a time where it all just becomes too much time. Everything catches up with you. And, you know, we've wondered in several fights, is it going to be the end for Eubank? But he keeps rebounding back and putting up these terrific fights.
Well, I'd say he's provided more excitement in the last couple of years than probably in the rest of his career put together. And that is remembering the great fight he had with Nigel Benn and the second ultimately tragic one with Michael Watson.
Nice uppercut and right hand inside, but Thompson comes punching back.
Little right cross, short punch Thompson. And uppercut too. Who gives way first? Those are good body shots from Thompson. That body punch, the left hand, drove Eubank back into the ropes. The sheer force of it.
The stumble there, just lost his footing. Good jab from Eubank. He lands that punch very well.
You do get the impression, though, that Thompson will just carry on like this, working away for the whole 12 rounds, and you wonder whether Eubank can do that this late in his career. Well, here's his answer for the moment, those chopping right hands. But he has to keep Thompson away from him, you feel.
Well, I think Thompson seems more focused to the task in this fight. He's keeping good pressure on Eubank.
Well, it's another excellent contest. Eubank, as always, milking the crowd for all he's worth. I was worried about him before the fight. Those tears, I'd never seen anything like that from him.
No, that was very strange. The emotion just got to him there for a second. It is a very emotional time.
Dennis Andrews, the former world light heavyweight champion, in the corner for Chris Eubank, with Ernie Fossey doing the talking there.
But the pressure from Thompson is relentless. He looks strong. He's really taking it to Eubank. He's going to test everything, all his heart and character all over again. Good body shots there.
That was the one that made him give ground for about 2 paces.
Yep.
Eubank right there. Here's the 6th round. This is the round that Eubank predicts that he will win in. You'd be a bit surprised, as Thompson looked to be just coming on strong a bit in that 5th round.
Another very good jab.
Oh, that's a great right hand from Eubank. Oh, and the uppercut is an absolute stunner. Thompson covers up, soaks it up, absorbs it. How did he do that? And then comes back to throw punches of his own. It was a tremendous uppercut from Eubank.
Well, he really found the right punch there, just as Thompson was leaning forward, whipped up an uppercut, and then another punch following that. He looked in trouble for a second there, Thompson, but then quickly just resumed pushing forward, trying to get his own punches off.
Whatever they're paying these two, it's not enough.
But it's just a mark of these two fighters, their immense pride. Both very different personalities, very different characters, but it all means so very much to them.
Now then, I've spotted a little bit of swelling by that left eye of Eubank again. And is there a bit of blood, I wonder? Now, that might be a problem. Are we having a carbon copy here of fight 1 between these two?
Some good punches going in from Eubank.
He's come back well in this 6th round.
And I think the body punching of Thompson is having an effect on Eubank.
You just wonder if the ultimate effect of that will be to take Eubank's legs away. That eye is swelling up. It's a problem. The left eye again. But it's not stopping him seeing his way to throwing a right hand like that.
And that was a tremendous right hand. Well, we didn't think they could do it again. Tremendous ferocity in the last fight, and it's all exactly the same, just picking up where they left off.
Oh, again, Eubank has found some big shots in this round, but he cannot break Thompson's will or spirit or resistance. This is a tough, very well-conditioned and underrated fighter, this Carl Thompson. Never ever question the heart of these two fighters ever again, even if you were going to do that. Well, watching with us is a man who hopes to fight the winner of this, Sheffield's Johnny Nelson, who's had a victory tonight. Johnny, what a fight again.
Again, you know, Chris has now got a game plan and he's sticking well to it. You know, he's outboxing Carl and he's making Carl work. He's trying the old rope-a-dope. In the earlier fight, Carl didn't work as hard, he didn't work as much, and you see he slips in 1 or 2 quick shots to make sure he steals each round, and he'll keep doing it all the way to the 12th round.
The eyes are worried, though, for Eubank, isn't it, Johnny?
Yeah, of course, you know, but this time he's trying to make sure Carl exerts just as much energy as he's doing, and he's doing an excellent job.
Eubank winning for you?
Eubank's winning, but Carl's recovery is excellent after hard shots when he's been hurt.
Thanks a lot, Johnny. Johnny Nelson, the #1 contender for this title, hopes to be in with the winner. They might need a good rest after this, mind you. Having said that, we said that the first time, and here we are again 3 months later. It's unbelievable, really. Here's round 7. The green trunks of the defending champion, Carl Thompson from Manchester. The yellow, of course, of Chris Eubank.
Again, some success with the uppercut, but he's been forced to fight. Thompson putting good pressure on Eubank here, pinning him on the ropes.
Eubank will be glad that he has the experience of Ernie Fossey, the cut man, in his corner. Maybe he will be able to keep that swelling from becoming too big a factor.
Eubank just moving ahead again, just by 1 point.
On your scorecard?
On my scorecard.
I've got it a little wider for Eubank at the moment.
Well, I like the constant pressure from Thompson. He's working a lot. Eubank getting the more eye-catching punches. but Thompson just keeping that steady pressure, answering everything.
Oh, what a big left hook, and again, and the leg splay of Thompson. Can Eubank get there this time? How does he stay up from them?
Well, he heard Thompson there, and he was quick to react, but the opportunity didn't come to get another shot in.
Remember, Chris Eubank himself has never been stopped in his 13-year career, and this is the 52nd fight. But I have to apologise to Carl Thompson. We questioned his punch resistance. Goodness me, he's shown some here.
Again, there was eye-catching punches from Eubank, but Thompson just resumes marching forward, landing with more punches. He's just working steadily. And this is the way to try and wear Eubank down.
Eubank's covering up quite well. They're a lot hitting the gloves. That one didn't, the right cross. Oh, and neither did that second one from Thompson. Gloves. Gloves again. Interesting to just look at it closely. You have to, the judges will, trying to see what's landing.
They hit the gloves, but there's still an effective force that goes through the gloves. It doesn't just dampen everything, and he's still landing the eye. A lot worse now.
It's almost closed. This is very bad news for Eubank. He had to fight the last 7 rounds of the first fight, basically with one eye, and it's happened again to him, and he's shaking his head. Ernie Fossey gets him back to the corner, a worried look even on his face. What can they do about this? Paul Thomas, the referee's having a look at it. It's bad again.
It's bad, it's early, and I think they're going to have to be careful with that. I'm not sure they'll be so lenient with such a bad eye. Still a lot of rounds to go.
It's a great pity, really, isn't it, in terms of the actual contest, that one fighter has to get handicapped like that again when it's, well, such another ding-dong battle.
Yes, it is a shame, but that is what the business is about.
Sure.
When fighters do get injured, I mean, they're hitting each other.
8th round.
I think Eubank may go out and try and do something spectacular. I think he'll feel it's very bad. He probably won't be able to go on for a lot of rounds with that sort of damage.
Yes, there are still 5 left. Ooh, big right hand at Thompson. In this cruel, hard business, will make that a target now. Does raise the question of whether Eubank has come back too soon after the first one and not really given the eye a proper amount of time to heal.
Yes, we saw the interviews and press conference fight, and they were still marking. Just up until a week or so ago, he still had little bits of mark under that eye.
Looking around Eubank to somebody at ringside. How can he do that in a battle of this intensity? It's astonishing. He never stops amazing this.
Well, he may be looking. So often fighters do that just to distract the attention of their opponent.
Still this relentlessness about Thompson, who's relatively unmarked and still looks strong. And Eubank must be thinking, I've hit him with so many good shots, but he's still there and he's still coming at me.
Yes, it's good pressure from Thompson. He's just keeping to his task, just coming forward.
Whoa, 3-punch combination from Eubank was classic. He might only have one eye now, but still competitive. I think what Eubank will have to be careful of is, with that injury and the referee looking at it closely, that if Thompson does get through with a lot of unanswered punches, there is the danger that the referee could step in, bearing in mind the kind of sensitivity about safety in the sport.
Good uppercut from Thompson there. That just hurt Eubank. Yes, I think that is a point that he can't afford to let Thompson throw unanswered punches for a while with the injury. Certainly it gives the referee the excuse to pull Eubank out. So Eubank has to be competitive.
And he certainly is that still. Thompson driving a couple of punches through there. This must just sap the desire of Eubank a little bit, having to fight with the handicap. But look at this. Look at this. These are remarkable men. Eubank wanders off to the wrong corner. No, he doesn't. He's just playing with the crowd again. No disorientation there. Ernie Fossey will be furious. He'll want him back there quick to work on that eye.
That's right. He needs every second to apply the ice and pressure and just try and crush the swelling away. Stats showing that Thompson landing the more punches. Eubank still the more spectacular punches, but Thompson just doing more of it. It's constant pressure. It's got to be hard for Eubank.
He's asking for them to slap him.
Well, he's done that before. Ronnie Davis gave him a few good slaps in his time. He's trying to get angry. He's trying to psych himself up.
Well, incredible insight there, really, into the hard business of a corner, a big fight corner at work. It's almost as if Eubank was urging them to kind of gee him up even more, to drive him through this.
He's trying to drag up something extra from inside himself.
I think Eubank might wake up in hospital again tomorrow morning with that eye injury. It's quite grotesque. Blood from the mouth of Thompson. First sign of damage that we can see for him. That's Glenn's scorecard. He's got Thompson ahead for the first time.
Well, maybe it's just a turning point in the fight. Thompson looking stronger. Eubank with that damage to the eye.
Oh, the right cross getting in from Thompson. It's bizarre, really. It's almost a carbon copy, isn't it, of the first fight?
Almost exactly, and we didn't think they could have this sort of ferocity and intensity, but they have. They've dragged it up again.
And whatever happens from here on, the little series between these two will go down in British boxing folklore. Not much coming back from Eubank for the moment. The referee taking a closer look. Thompson getting through with some clubbing right hands, and Eubank has to throw something back, and he does. Oh, look at how he does. Overhand right, but Thompson eats that up again and marauds forward once more.
Well, I don't know if there's even more venom in this fight than there was in the last one, if that's possible.
Well, you almost run out of superlatives to describe the kind of courage and bravery and character that's on display in there now. The first time they fought each other to a standstill, and it may be the same again. Last few seconds of the 9th round.
Thompson coming on stronger and stronger, looking harder in there for Eubank.
And Thompson's winning the rounds now.
There's a big right hand from Thompson. Got to be causing more damage to that eye. But Eubank dragged it up again. Thompson just looks stronger. He's putting more intensity into his work. Eubank courageously trying to fight back. A good overhand right. But Thompson recovered very quickly there and straight back with his own punches.
The impression here is that Thompson is winning the fight, and once or twice in that last round you felt as though he was close to a stoppage. But the scorecards, now are they going to pull Eubank out here? What's happening? There's a big discussion going on.
Well, it looks as if the doctor's been in
looking at it. It is stopped. It is over. Eubank has been stopped for the first time in his career, and Carl Thompson has retained the title after another savage battle here in Sheffield. The eye damage was too much, and Chris Eubank, after 13 years and 52 fights, is at the end of an era for British boxing here. He's thrilled us and entertained us. Sometimes he's bored us silly, but he's always been used, a genuine star, but that might be the last we see of him.
It may well be. We've said that a few times recently, but this time he's been stopped. It will be very hard for his pride to take that. He tried so terribly well, but it was terrific pressure from Thompson. He just wouldn't give Eubank a time, and then just kept pushing on and pushing on. And congratulations to Thompson. He worked so well, an unassuming sort of man, but he showed how much he wanted to win in the fight.
Yes, let's give generous tribute to Carl Thompson. He doesn't get the publicity. He was angered by the lack of recognition, but how he's shown his characters and his quality in both of these fights with Eubank. And I think those two fights are going to make his name. They should do if there's any justice.
Yes, they should do. He's very upset at the stoppage. It's all just coming down to him. What's happening? It's all gone and finished for him in this fight.
Let me tell you something. At the point that the fight was stopped, Eubank was ahead by 3 points on 2 of the scorecards, and it was level on the other one of the British judge Roy Francis, and I had Eubank ahead as well at that point.
I would know whether it was severely hurt, but it's not. It's just a black eye, and all the plans in the world, but there you go. You win some, you lose some. Something to win one these days, but well, nothing like a try up, I suppose. We'll find a way. Just a matter of time, yeah? Didn't do nothing,
Well, that didn't sound like a retirement speech, did it?
You know the way I feel. In regards to you, so I'll see when I get home tomorrow. Sebastian, if you're watching, happy birthday. Sorry I couldn't get it for you boys, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Chris, what happens now? Sit down and think. You don't know, you're going to sit down and think. You mean I had a dirty nose of Vaseline and you didn't tell me? I'm talking to my wife. Where's the romance in the world? Where's the, the gentleman conduct? That's a bit out of order. What next?
Ladies and gentlemen, at the start of round 10, after consultation with the doctor at ringside, the referee stops the contest. Chris Eubank, having sustained a badly damaged left eye, the winner and still cruiserweight champion of the world, Carl Thompson! Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you'd like to show your appreciation for a very, very disappointed loser indeed, a very game boxer, Chris Eubank!
Well, what we can gather there is that Eubank is going to go away and consider his future, but of immediate interest to both after two magnificent individual displays. The first big talking point here is we understand that Eubank was ahead on two of the judges' scorecards. Does Carl Thompson know that yet? It doesn't matter. Thompson retains his title belt. And Thompson, if anything, performed even better than last time out. Barry, your thoughts?
Yeah, I definitely thought Thompson was more controlled, more composed, applied steady pressure through more accurate punches and hit the body a lot, as well as bruising Eubank, you know, terribly around his left eye, and the whole side of his face is swollen up. And the referee made or the referee, in conjunction with the doctor, made a very sensible and wise decision to retire Eubank, because you know, he's too brave for his own good, Chris Eubank. There's no question about that. And you know, let's see tomorrow what he'll decide to do. The judges, I felt, were a bit unfair to the champion. I had the champion one round up at that stage. Close fight, but still had the champion ahead. I actually agreed with Glenn on this occasion, but there you go.
Thank you, Barry. While the loser goes away, let's get a word with the winner and still the world champion, Carl Thompson, within.
Carl, another thunderous and savage fight there. What were your thoughts about that?
I told everyone it's going to be a hard fight and a brutal fight, and we're going to give respect to Chris. Well done, Chris. But we know what we're doing. We know we have to soak it up, question him, let him work, let us throw the punch. And there's one thing I said, I've got a tough chin. I told everyone I was faking, and I showed everyone that I was faking that night. I take his best shot and I come at him. So there's credit, eh? Yeah? Go.
He hit you with some thunderous shots there, but you just kept coming back at him.
We had to dishearten Chris, and we were getting to him. I thought I was going to leave it. We should have came in the fifth round. We didn't come in the fifth round. We left it one round a bit too late. So we had to get in there. A bit of panic setting in my half, but we started from the sixth, and we know we had to take it because he was leading, and we know what we're getting to him. We're slowly getting to him. I don't want to win on a cut eye or anything like that. I'd rather have just a normal stoppage. But you know, that's how boxing is. If it was the other way around, I would have been stopped, so let's roll with the punches.
What's your reaction to the judges' scorecards? Two of them had Eubank ahead, and the other one had it level.
In this round?
In this fight, yeah.
I think Chris was in the lead, but I think I was coming back from the sixth round. I think I was coming and I was going to stop him. I definitely think he was tiring.
How conscious of you that you have taken part here in two of the most memorable fights we've seen in the modern era in British rings?
They probably don't seem to bother, so it's not going to bother me, you know what I mean? I just get on what I do best, fight, and stay there and make it hard as possible for my opponent. That's me.
Do you think you get enough recognition for what you do?
I tell you, my fellow friends and my supporters, they're enough to give me the recognition I need. If anyone else don't want to give me any recognition, hard luck. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it.
And a final word about Chris Eubank. Do you think he should call it quits there?
Chris is his own person, he's his own mind. No one tells him what to do. It's totally up to him to decide what he wants to do. It's like me, it's like everyone, every boxer chooses the path, you know what I mean, to do what they want to do. And Chris chooses, and all the best to him. And I've got to give thanks as well to my cornermen. They're definitely Billy and my man, they all tell me, stick in there, hang in there, and we get the job done.
You deserve to earn some big money now. It's probably going to be Johnny Nelson of Sheffield, isn't it, next for you?
I'm not disrespecting Johnny Nelson, but we're not going to get paid, you know what I mean? We are going to have to sit down and have some serious thinking, you know what I mean, what to do. Because we're very good fighters. We're very good. Best in in England, British, not even probably in the world, you know what I mean? But we're not getting the recognition by not getting the purse. So it's a hurtful. This is a hard game. So we should get the money and what we deserve.
You deserve all the recognition in the world after that tonight. Well done.
Respect.
Yes, Thompson's night again, but one cannot gainsay that fighters like Carl Thompson have profited from Chris Eubank's presence in the division. But for how much longer will Eubank be around after that?
Yeah.
There he is. Is he signing an autograph?
Make sure my people come in. Sorry? Make sure my people come in.
Maybe some friends and relatives. I wonder what he's going to be talking about when we come back. Do stay with us. Eubank beaten. Thompson still the champion. I wonder if that is the last we will see of Chris Eubank as an active fighter. His first stoppage defeat tonight, remember, but what a way to go. What a contrast between the two dressing rooms. Chris Eubank contemplating a brave effort in defeat tonight after his stoppage defeat at the hands of Carl Thompson. Thompson still WBO World Cruiserweight Champion, and the party getting underway across the corridor. It was almost as good as the last one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was certainly building up to that. It was cut short by a couple of rounds, but it was certainly every bit as intense. I think the difference was that Thompson was a little bit more guarded early on. He wasn't prepared to risk himself so much, and that paid off.
Maybe the great thing, Barry, was that both men can look at their own individual performances and with justification say, I was actually better this time for the length of time the fight lasted than in the previous one. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think you know, Eubank will be happy with the way he started. He started very well. He punched very sharply early on in the fight, and he took control of the fight. He was very impressive in his round 2, breaking through with some great shots. And really shaking Thompson up there. You can see he completely disorientating him there. And keeping the pressure on in round 3, right hands over the top, being sharper, quicker off the mark, and just what we thought would happen in the early stages of the fight. But Thompson soaked it up very well. You know, as he said after the fight, you know, we all complained the last time that he was very vulnerable. He soaked up a lot of punches, including some super stuff in the 4th round here from Eubank, and you know, was able to come back. And what we don't see in these rounds is the good work from Thompson. He really did apply a lot of pressure himself, and he was the one who was initiating all the pressure and keeping the pressure on top of Eubank, and Eubank was counter-punching excellently well.
World-class fighter like Carl Thompson proving tonight, Barry, that he can work to a game plan.
Yes, without a doubt. I mean, he stuck to a game plan, and he kept referring to Billy Graham and saying, we as in a team.
They've really done their homework.
They've done their homework, and they boxed an excellent tactical fight. I know these things are subjective, but I still thought, as did Glenn and Ian, that Thompson was slightly ahead at that stage. I mean, the judges had it the other way around. But I think at that stage there was a noticeable difference between Eubank. Apart from the fact that his eye was badly bruised, he was looking more tired and more lethargic than he did the first time. And those added 3 pounds actually were in many ways not doing him any favours at all.
It certainly didn't give him any more power in his own punching, because Thompson was down in the first fight early on and walked through everything.
That's right. I mean, he landed
some great stuff in the middle rounds from Eubank. No result.
Yeah, but there again, you can see where he landed a tremendous uppercut, and this time it seemed like Thompson was soaking them up better. He got hit every bit as flush, every bit as hard, but he took them and absorbed them very well and kept applying the pressure to Eubank. At this stage, it looked like he was going to go over, but he didn't. He grabbed himself and he recuperated very quickly, and he jumped right on top of Eubanks again. And it was really at that stage, that was a breaking point, because Eubank's eye was beginning to swell. Thompson was still applying the pressure, and then he was just bombarding him and turning the fight around. And you know, he was banging that right eye. Those heavy, thudding right hands round the side kept swelling the eye, and it was even more bruised and pathetic looking than it was in the last fight. And he broke through again here with a number of right hooks around his head. I mean, this guy has got such a terrific chin. Chris Eubank is one of the best chins in the history of boxing, and there's no question about that. Those shots just bombarded off his chin, bounced off his chin. He took them and shook his head, and the referee was close to, you know, he gave him a chance. He looked at him in the corner. He said, look, son, you've got to do something dramatic or else this fight's going to be over. And then, you know, he terminated the fight.
Punch statistics, Barry. I think we have them here now. Let's have a look.
Yeah, you know, it was pretty even.
Fine margins again, eh?
Exactly, very close fight again. You know, 100 more punches by Thompson. That is true in that. But again, punches landed was very similar. 154 to 127. Success rate 30 to 28. What was noticeable was the body shots of Thompson early in the fight. We didn't see a lot of that in the replays, but he whacked him a lot around the body, soaked a lot of punches up around the stomach, Eubank did, and it took a lot of the steam out of him, and his legs weren't moving as quickly as they were in the first fight. He wasn't able to shift around so quickly. And you know, you've got to take your hat off to Thompson as well. courage by Eubank absorbing the punches, but Thompson was marvellous again, and he really fought tremendously well, and tremendously well tactically.
Thank you, Barry. Johnny Nelson at ringside. Two of the judges, maybe with yourself, Johnny, had Chris Eubank in front. Was that how you had it at the moment it was stopped?
I've got to say, I thought Chris he probably had it by 2 rounds. He was in front, you know, but I've got to swallow a big piece of humble pie. I thought he'd go the distance.
I did warn you.
I thought he'd go the distance and he'd win on points. Unfortunately, his eye let him down, but he was still putting up an excellent performance. But take nothing away from Carl. He showed excellent durability, excellent recovery skills, and he stuck to his game plan. Well disciplined throughout the fight.
We love to see all you chaps making good money out of the game. Seriously, we love to see you making good money out of the game, but already Carl Thompson has said he doesn't think that you against him is a money fight. What would you say to that?
Regardless of what Carl thinks, of what Carl wants, the fight's got to go on. I'm the #1 contender for the WBO title. He doesn't want to fight. I know he doesn't want to fight, and he'll say anything possible. At the moment, the excuse is money. He's probably right, but the fight will still go on regardless of what he says, how much money we get paid.
Okay, John, thank you, and you're still on track, just to repeat, because you won again tonight. Well done.
Thank you.
And you've waited patiently, haven't you? So let's hope your turn comes as well.
Thanks a lot.
We can hear from Eubank. He's with Adam Smith.
First stoppage defeat. How do you feel?
I wasn't stopped. The referee stopped it, or the doctor stopped it, and he should have. Okay, you can look at my black eye. It's, again, another fantastic badge. I don't like it this time. I've had it before, so I've got the experience of it, but...
It was almost or more intense than last time. How did you see it?
I saw it as I was much more relaxed. I was getting my shots off beautifully inside. I was hitting him with beautiful right uppercuts, good left hooks, right hooks, beautiful right hooks. And I had it. All I had to do was last the distance. And
was that the strategy, to go the full distance?
Well, no, listen, to his credit, this particular time, he didn't go from the punches. I was hitting him as hard, if not harder, because I was hitting him correctly this time. My body weight was in the punches, but he didn't seem to budge this time. He kind of went a few times, but not like last time. But they were good shots. I mean, I could see from the 7th round, it may go the distance, but I had it right. I was winning the fight.
How far ahead did you feel you were?
I thought I had run everything up until about the 7th, 8th round, because he was right in front of me. He couldn't touch me with his jab. I was slipping his right hand, slipping his left hands, trying to catch his uppercuts. Most of the time I was catching them. And in that round, I think it was the round before the doctor came in and stopped it, he started to catch me on the eye, and I felt it just go...
Could you see anything? Can you see anything from it?
No, I can't see anything.
So it was the right decision?
No, it was not the right decision. You know, it was not the right decision. But they have a job to do, and I can understand them doing their job. You know, as far as I'm concerned, he could have closed everyone. I would have fought him with both eyes closed.
But it was wonderful to watch, Chris. But is it the end now?
Well, ask the public, the Sun newspaper. Let them do a little survey, and if I've paid my dues, and I shouldn't go on. I don't want to belittle myself or make myself seem crazy going on too long. Whatever the public say, if they think I should carry on, then I will do. I had this guy beat 2 rounds. I said, let me go on. I said, you know, if only the referee didn't come over, you know, I would have throttled him or something. Get out of the ring, you know.
Thanks a lot, Chris, for making it as exciting again.
Okay. Well, that was only a joke about the doctor. Only a joke. I'm not serious. I wouldn't really have throttled him. I would have if I could have, but I wouldn't. Okay.
All right. We might see you again.
Well, you might do.
Thanks a lot, Chris.
What's that about maturing with age? Probably somewhere in the country there are people who still consider him a phony, but surely yet again Eubank has convinced the doubters and probably added to his own fan club.
Guess it's over, call it a day. Sorry that it had to end this way. No reason to pretend, we knew it had to end someday. This way. Guess it's over, the kickers are gone. What's the use in trying to hang on? Somewhere we lost the key. Too much, too little, too late to ever try again. Too much, too little, too late, let's ever be in forever. Too much, too little, too late, we knew it has to end. It's over. Guess it's over, the chips are down. Baby, all our bridges tumble down. Whatever chance we try, let's face it, why deny it's over? Too much, too little.